First idea is an idea of equal airtime. So when Jerry walks out of this room tonight, it doesn't necessarily that Jerry needs to feel that he spoke as much as everybody else, but he does need to feel that if there was something he needed to say and it didn't get into the group, that's not good. That goes against equal airtime. So equal airtime means walking out of the group feeling like something you wanted to say, you had a chance to say. You were heard, just like Christy is saying. So now the practical way that comes in to play is that usually when something powerful comes up in the group, everybody wants to say something about it. And if the facilitator is the first person to say something about it, that's not what the facilitator is supposed to be doing. The facilitator is supposed to be calling on other people so that they say it. And the facilitator is supposed to be looking out for the person who's not getting equal airtime, so that we can hear that person. So you expand a little bit that one, you shorten up the people who are a little bit too talky to a certain degree, and you're following your agenda. You're going through this whole thing. Everybody understands that we got a job to do, and they get on board in doing it.
My story is I feel that I wasn't hearing back from God when I was asking Him every day, twice a day, every day, every moment of the day, to just help strengthen my relationship with my mom all throughout college and after college. And I just felt like my relationship with my mom was very strained. We were arguing a lot, and I just kept praying to God, please fix this. Why is my relationship with my mom, whom I love, is so strained? How come why am I acting out? How come I'm not acting patient enough towards her? Or just like, give me an answer. Why is this happening? Can you fix it? Please fix it tomorrow. And I just felt like I wasn't hearing from God. I just felt like He wasn't fixing it because it was still like my relationship with Mom was still strained. But then I guess I just kept praying every day, and then after years and years of prayer, for some reason, just magically, I want to say last month. It's so recent. Last month, I feel that my relationship with me and my mom has not had any friction for like a whole month without arguing, and it's just like a miracle. And I love my mom, and I just felt like the lack of friction with the relationship between my mom and God was just finally answered to me. Like, Christy, you had to work on yourself first in order to better relationships with other people. So finally, I believe that my lack of my concern of not hearing from God God was just teaching me in His silence to keep enduring and to keep praying and never to stop praying.
Great example, right to the point. And anybody else have an example to share? Okay, I've got one. So my brother was dying, and I was in the room. And miraculously, we were saying saying prayers, and it came to me. The room was empty, and I was there with my brother. And it came to me: should I ask him if he will ask for the mercy of God? And I had sent him an email, and the email was a very brief email, and it said, just ask for God's mercy. The abundance of this life continues into the next life for those who trust in God, trust in a merciful God. It was real brief. I was not, it was not anything. And I had sent that. And he's great with email. And even though he's ill and everything, there's a high likelihood he had that. So, but I have found myself miraculously in there by himself to do something. So I sat there in the bed. I said, okay, God, on the side of his bed. I was there alone. I said, God, you guide me. You guide me. You tell me, because I'm not trusting myself. And I heard nothing. And I took that to mean that he trusts me to decide what's best. And I trusted, and I decided I'm not gonna say anything. And then 2 days later, I got an email back that said, Jeff, if you want a relationship with me, it has to be with, it can't be with your God, it has to be with my God. Please don't bring this up again. So, I mean, it was very clear, okay? It would not have been good if I had been there. But God was merciful. I'm in the room with him 2 days later, and a woman is mopping the floor, and she says, Jim, I hear it was your birthday yesterday, and I want to sing a song. And she sang this 1 minute song. This was like beautiful. Like my family comes from New Orleans. It was like jazz type music or spiritual music, whatever you want to call it. But Jim loved it. And then Jim said, I want to hear something else. And I said, Amazing Grace. So she sang Amazing Grace. He totally embraced Amazing Grace. He said, I want that sung at my funeral, and I want you to sing that again. He had her sing it 2 more times. So the point is that, like, the point for myself was that, you know, he trusted me to do my best work when he's silent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so of the alternatives you've heard, or combination of alternatives, what do you like? What sounds best for you, Jerry?
Experience with your brother. That touched me probably the closest to what I'm, going through. Because, do I do something this moment, or do I back off and see what will come along? Mm-hmm. And in your case, you backed off, and God filled in the details.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to add something to that, though. I was very concerned when I walked out of that room. This opportunity could only come once in a lifetime, and I wondered if I did right. I called my wife, and my wife gave me a non-committal type answer, and then I called his best friend. And his best friend said, you were right to do that, because he has got to want to choose to do that.
Yes.
Before, you can't just make somebody do it.
No.
And based on his experience, he was telling me I was right not to say anything, because he and I both know about this.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. Now, if you wait to get, if you wait, you're looking for how God shows Himself. Does God show Himself in your relationship with others? Does He pay off? Does He, the love that you feel? Does that work? Okay. So you're waiting for that to happen. So, okay, so if you do wait, do you see that as truly in the best interests of others? Can you get the job done? Can you do this? Can you wait? Can you wait without hearing God say, no, I want you to turn left here?
I'm doing things, but I'm not very good at it. Okay. I need somebody to really, that knows how to manipulate the images of a blog and that sort of thing. That's not me. I'm more bullet point type thing, and that's not quite what needs.
Okay, so you're in a new area. So getting the job done is getting the job done.
I'm doing it.
Is getting the job done doing the graphics part of it, or is getting the job done this from the God side of this whole thing? Just waiting. Not only waiting, but moving forward.
It's waiting for what does he want? How does he want this to come out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So can you do that? Waiting is a job. Waiting is a job.
Well, like
Can
I
you
said,
do that?
I'm not waiting I'm doing my bit, and I'm asking God to do His bit.
It was more general than that. You were waiting in this point of limbo where you just don't have the answers right there. It called you to wait. So it was that waiting that's the concern. You're always going to be acting to do the next right thing, just as Christy did to change herself or myself to decide, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to ask him. So he wants me to act. So the concern was about the waiting part, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you wait?
I can.
Okay, so you can get the job done. You can wait. And then, is this an area of meaningful expansion for yourself, this blog that you're working on?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so the rule is, can anybody state the rule?
Of the rules that you set up?
No, the rule of our feelings. Because we just took from an emotional intelligence point of view, we took the things that are going to affect our feelings. And the rule says that if the experience goes for one or more of the values and doesn't go against any value, you will feel good. And you will build a sense of community. So there's a high likelihood that this is going to work out. Now, if you got a no to any of those answers, if the experience goes against any of the values, you will feel bad, even if other values are present. So, for example, if you never get the graphics done, it's going to feel bad. If my brother doesn't say, "I like Amazing Grace," sing that at my funeral. If he doesn't say that, I'm going to feel bad. If Christy is not with her mom, if she's not in a good relationship with her mom, she's going to feel bad. Yeah. So, okay. So thank you. Okay. So that's how a small group how we do a small group thing. Okay. Now, who would like to volunteer to be Nick? Would you be the volunteer? You be the facilitator now. So does anybody have a concern about their handling of something? A God-related issue that they are working on at this time.
So my concern is that I'm losing that one purpose going into work, the purpose to serve people, serve the residents at my nursing home, because I'm a fitness specialist, and my concern is that I'm losing the drive to just give my all to my residents at the nursing home. I'm thinking less of my purpose is to be a joy and light of God to these people and give them quality exercise, and it's becoming more like every time I walk into work I immediately feel very stressed out, and I'm just feeling stress throughout the whole workday from 8 to 4:30 or however long my workday is, and it's not because the experience of the stress is putting the experience of stress is dampering my original purpose of going to work, which is to serve people. So that is my concern, is that my concern is that this growing of stress, and that it's difficult to take away my stress and just trust God with my work. Trust God that all of the things I need to get done in that day will be finished. So that is my concern.
So, Jeff, do you see this as a legitimate concern? It's legitimate if the answer is yes, too. Is this a question about faith and morals?
I have to ask a clarifying question. What is it, a question about faith and morals?
Yes.
Okay, can you elaborate a little bit about that?
It's a question of faith and morals because my vocation is currently I believe that my vocation is to serve others, and my stress that I'm feeling is hindering that.
Oh, okay.
My vocation.
Okay.
Jerry, is this a question about doing the right thing in the eyes of God?
I guess.
Christy, is this a concern you're facing now?
Yes.
Does any member of the group have personal experience facing this concern where work meets faith? If so, can you share your story as a story, not theoretical advice?
I need to ask a question. So is this an area of meaningful expansion for yourself, the nursing home, the kinesiology thing?
Yeah.
And another clarifying question. Did anything happen that changed your perspective on your work?
Yes. A lot of my people I work with really believe in me that I can be doing something greater, something that I possibly, like something greater. They see a lot of potential in me, so I always hear in them like, try to maybe go back to school, get a master's degree, or go back to school and become a physical therapist or a physical therapist assistant. And then I'm feeling a lot of pressure, and so I just kind of, so that's just like an added stress, making me really think that it just gave an added stress, like where should I be right now? And I would like to, and not with their words, it's hard to hear my own my own thoughts and trusting God where I should be when I'm feeling pressure all around. And I know that they mean well.
So does anyone have a story, personal experience facing this concern?
When I got my master's degree, I thought automatically that there would be a pay increase aligned with that where I was working. And it was kind of like a pat on the back and great job, but they really weren't offering an advance in the pay. And that bothered me. And initially, I was stressed out by that. And then I prayed about it and knew through prayer that was a sign that I needed to move on. So I started seeking other opportunities, and a job offer came up, and then the place I was working stepped up and said, "Oh, well, we'll counteroffer." But I knew that this other opportunity was where I would grow instead of staying where I was at. So I chose the more challenging road of growth versus staying where I was at. In the interim, before that job offer came in, I focused on working and doing the best job I could there so that that place would always be a good reference for any other opportunity that came after that. Instead of, kind of taking a negative, like, I can't believe they didn't give me a pay increase and they don't value me, and so I'm not going to do the best job here. Yeah. So, really focusing on doing the best job, making a difference, and leaving on a really good note. But always going with what felt in my spirit to be the right thing.
Yeah.
25 years ago, she decided to go back to law school. No, it's actually 30 years. Anyway, after she finished, she was going through the bar exam, and there's all kinds of programs where you get prompt, go through and how to take a test and that sort of thing. And one time, the only air conditioner we had in the house, we did not have central air, was in the bedroom. So here she is, hooked up, in the bedroom, making a study for the new bar exam. Right. Well, anyway, the day of the bar exam comes, and she sits over at Loyola University in downtown. And when she sits down, right next to her, in the seat next to her, is this crucifix. And when she saw the crucifix, she said, "Lord, you're with me." she, passed the bar.
Wow.
And she even tried to go back and buy that crucifix, but by that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Christy, what alternative or combination of alternatives sounds best to you?
Both. Because I love the words that stood out from both of the people who shared was from Roberta, that I should choose an area of growth. And that doesn't mean necessarily that I know what to do now, like whether to pursue higher education or to continue growing at my place, but choose an area of growth. And I would know that from Jerry, what Jerry shared, I would know what area of growth to choose, knowing that the Lord is with me. So continue to pray and make my decisions with the Lord in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, clarifying question. Okay. Was the stress your biggest concern?
The stress is my biggest concern, but
Okay.
the coworkers was one type of stress, and then just the amount of work that I have, like to finish in the day, is another part of the stress.
Mm-hmm.
So now that one half of the stress, I have a nice, satisfying
Okay.
solution, and then the other part of the stress of just getting the work done. Well, that will probably still be there as long as I work.
Okay, then what do you believe would make the perfect solution?
I just have to keep praying.
Do you see,
Okay.
like what Jerry was saying about the cross being there as helping when?
Well, I just thought that the cross being there for his wife was just like symbolic of God is Lord. The Lord is with you. For me right now, maybe what I'm thinking is this stress of trying to get my work done. Maybe it's just showing me that I should move on to a different place. I don't know. It could choose a different area of growth if my work is giving me stress. Maybe it's not an area of growth. I should find somewhere else. And even if I continue to trust God throughout my day help me get this work done, maybe I still have to choose a different area of growth that doesn't make me feel stressed.
Is it something that you felt from the start of your job, or it's more recent that you're feeling that way?
I would say right now it's new in a sense that it's full blown.
Okay.
But I believe it's always probably been there, I guess, from the beginning. But I choose to set it aside. I was better at choosing to set that stress aside.
Okay.
I guess from the beginning, I always I never knew I was just going to become a fitness specialist. I just kind of felt drifted into this spot. Really, my highest ambition was to become a physical therapist, but then I guess ways life directed me in a different place. So that stress was a little bit there in the beginning, but now it's a full blown.
Does your place of work offer support if you want to go for an advanced degree? Some
No, it
places
doesn't.
do. Okay.
It wouldn't pay for grad school.
Okay.
But luckily, I appreciate where I am right now. So if I want to go to higher education, then I've saved enough. I've saved a lot of money. I wouldn't have been able to go to higher education right after college because I didn't have the money.
Right.
So I appreciate the time that I've had with this current job,
Okay.
and it's taught me all the skills that I need to go elsewhere.
Okay. So I didn't like my first job. My second job, I went to University Hospital, and it just so happened that and I knew I wanted to get my master's.
Yeah.
I had been offered through the department where I went to school to do a research project and get paid a stipend, but it was nothing like a salary. to do this research project, and then I would do the research project and get paid this stipend, and they would pay for my tuition. But then I got a job at the hospital, and they also had that perk of paying for grad school. So I opted to go out of the one program and then take the full-time job and go part-time school. So I was full-time school and getting paid this stipend to full-time work, part-time school. Took me a little longer to get my master's, but I had the finances.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win.
So, Christy, do you see the best practice as going for doing that which is truly in the best interest of others?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see this solution as going for attaining a goal or other end not necessarily preconceived as a goal,
Yes.
but which becomes a goal once experienced?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the best practice or this solution as going for operating in an area of meaningful expansion for yourself? Okay. Very good.
Okay, nice job. These steps of emotional intelligence, the training in the small group that have to do with emotional intelligence, just like this training, will also tend to reinforce the process-driven aspect of this and lead to better ways within our group and therefore better efficacious.
You continually ask, how do you feel about that? I think that is one of the major points of being a facilitator. You are asking people, you are bringing people in, because, a lot of people just are hesitant. They listen, but then they don't say anything. But if you ask them the question, how do you feel about that, which you are doing, that brings them into the meeting agenda, whatever.
How do you feel about that, Nick?